I grew up knowing about Saint Cecilia and her story, and since I played the piano and then played the organ at church, I called on her quite frequently since she was the patron saint of musicians. I read at an early age, and I was always fascinated by the lives of saints, especially martyrs, and military heroes, and other people who sacrificed their lives for a noble cause. I would read aloud their lives, excuse me, read about their lives, and romanticize the telling of their deaths, and felt more than once that I would aspire to nothing more than to be a martyr and die for God or in battle for my comrades. I was 9 years old when I first encountered the finality of death. One of my classmates and his entire family died when their house burned to the ground during the night. After this, I wasn't so sure about the romantic aspects of this dying thing, but I was still awed by the nobility, the sacredness of true martyrdom. We think of a martyr as someone willing to accept death rather than recant his or her fundamental beliefs. We think of martyrs who pay the ultimate price instead of settling for a lesser sense of themselves. Excuse me. When I was older and read the unsanitized version of the martyrs' deaths, it was a sobering experience. We read of torture today and forget that the ancients were masters of inflicting pain and suffering. Saint Cecilia was a martyr who took 3 days to die. After the Romans botched her beheading, the 7 brothers in Maccabees watched each other die, one by one, in a series of gruesome brutalities, and their mother watched all of them die before she herself succumbed. Why? Why is the power of faith stronger than the physical pain of torture? How is it that some people can withstand the violence done to their bodies without stopping it by simply telling the torturer what they want to hear? I don't know. I know that faith must be stronger than the reality of pain because we have the example of the witnesses, the meaning of the Greek word that is the root of martyr. I know that we can draw strength from the example of the martyrs who chose death rather than denying God's call. And knowing that some people have been able to make this sacrifice in the most extreme circumstances can give us strength when we face much less fatal consequences. Aren't we all called to be martyrs, to accept the death of our old lives of selfishness instead of giving up on the call from God to selflessly love our brothers and sisters? Are we not faced regularly with challenges to our faith to live as God calls us to do and to surrender our lives to the will of God? Isn't it ironic that it's easy for us to celebrate the martyrs who give up their physical lives rather than denounce their faith, but so difficult for us to accept the death of our selfishness that keeps us from fully living as Christ called us to do? So my prayer today is for the grace to strengthen my faith so that it can withstand the temptations to hold on to my life of selfishness instead of living the generous life that God calls me to enjoy. Amen.